Hello, good morning. My name is Otto. I'm a member of parliament for Aru County in Pade district. You could have known me for various reasons, but here I am sharing my thoughts with you. I'm a graduate of political science from Kerry University. I am also an advocate. I have a degree in law. So I'm going to try in these 4 minutes just to ensure that I have a balance between being a social scientist and being an advocate. I'm talking about the digital elections. Within the next 2 weeks, Parliament would come with the legislations and regulations to ensure that we have digital elections because of the coronavirus. By digital elections, we mean campaigning on TV, campaigning on radio, banning mass rallies to avoid the spread of the coronavirus. But I want to just pose some questions for your kind thoughts and consideration. In the last election, the voter turnout was 60.3%. Several factors could have determined why there was low voter turnout. But what is very apparent and real is that some people got caught up by time. At 4 p.m., they stopped the last person on the line. Now the Electoral Commission and government is proposing people washing hands at all the polling stations in Uganda. I wonder how that would be feasible, because how many people can wash their hands in a space of a day? There is a proposition for having temperature guns at the polling station, that they check my temperatures. What if I show up at a voting station and my temperature is 45 degrees? It's going to cause panic. There will be panic, there will be pandemonium at that particular polling station. And it can also be another technique of ensuring that voting is spoiled at that station. Then there is the indelible ink, where you dip your hands after voting. Is the Electoral Commission proposing that for every voter there will be a separate can for people to dip their hands? Or we'll use the same ink, which can easily be a one-stop center for the coronavirus? This is unbelievable, the kind of election we will definitely be heading for. The law provides that every agent, every candidate should have 2 agents at a polling station. So if there are 10 parliamentary candidates in a polling station in Mbarara and there are 20 presidential candidates, that means we will have 60 candidate agents at the polling station. This is provided for in the law, because there is no way we're going to have an election where I don't have agents at the polling station. Now, if we go to the tally center, 2 agents per candidate, can have like 40 agents. We talk of the electoral commissioners themselves. We talk of the police. That means at the very minimum, you can have 50 people at the polling station. So what would have happened to the Minister of Health guidelines that we should have 10 people at a polling station? And as the votes are being counted, curfew time. 7 p.m., the LDUs will be there wielding batons and sticks. So it could be used as a technique, as a decoy of getting people away from the polling centers. So that means this voting is going to be like a cultural gala. It's going to be like a ritual. You vote, come, wash your hands, vote, go home, and wait for the results. This is de-enfranchising Ugandans. I personally want to be told how this is going to be feasible. The declaration of the results, according to Ugandan culture, everyone must be there, because also the thieves are there, much as the good persons are there. Wait a minute. Talk about the digital campaigns. That we go on TV, go on radio. According to Uganda Communications Commission, those with social media phones are only 16%. I don't want to talk about the electricity and coverage of the network. But look at this polling station in Iganga, in Mubende, where there is 1 radio station. First of all, the radio owners are going to hike the prices. Secondly, a rich candidate can pay for all the time so that their opponents don't have space in that particular radio. Thirdly, you know what UBC can do. A high court ruled that the Uganda Broadcasting Corporation was not fair to the opposition candidates. So now we are talking of digital campaigns. It has severe limitations that can turn out to be fulungunas. For example, supposing a village thief goes on radio, no one is going to know. No one is going to see the face. He's going to hold out, talk there, and leave. We have issues that requires community diagnosis. We need to see the body language. We need to see the person going to parliament, whether he can articulate issues for the individuals. We need to look at that person from head to toe. You find situations where some women have divorced their husbands. It is public knowledge in the entire village. And because of the digital campaign, the woman candidate is pregnant. And because people cannot be able to see that A has divorced B, yet she's pregnant, so by default means the woman can be standing in Moro, and yet she's married to a man from Fort Portal, which amounts to infringement of cultural rights. And besides, there are limits of body language. If you are dating a woman on phone, on social media, there are limits. There has to be time where you see the physical body contact. You need to see the hair, you need to see the nails. So now we are denying Ugandans that opportunity to see their candidates. There's a guy who was doing phone dating. The woman is in Mubende, the guy is in Arua. By the time he met, the guy thought he was in the longest dream. He was meeting a beast. So we should not de-enfranchise Ugandans to the extent of not knowing the people who they vote for. And there is a new aspect called gerrymandering in political science. New constituencies have been created. Voters have been moved because of the new cities. So some constituents are being moved from another county into the city. So we are going to have the first instance where there are new voters from another politburo into another constituency. So these are issues where physical contact should be necessary so that we don't have strangers being collected from different parts of the country, from Rwanda, from Congo, to come and vote in this new constituency on allegations that they were from the previous constituency. So you'll find that we really have a lot to do. Talk about it, the Electoral Commission. If someone tests positive at the polling station, that means everyone who has lined up should be quarantined. Okay, God forbid, if one of the Electoral Commissioners turned positive for coronavirus, like Justice Biamakama, or Honorable Stephen Tashobia, or Rwakojo, that means the entire Electoral Commission should be quarantined. They should be taken to a faraway health center, far away like in Karamoja there. So as the Constitution provided for a situation where if the entire Electoral Commissioners are quarantined, who will hold elections? Who will declare the results? So these are mind-boggling issues that the entire elections may not be held in the interest of the hoi polloi, in the interest of the masses. Now, I would want to propose, do we really have to go for these elections? Don't think of what I'm thinking of. I know what you're thinking of. Members are fed up of these MPs. There are some MPs who should have even left Parliament yesterday. They should have been recalled. They are so terrible persons. That should not even be called honorable. Probably they should be called horrible. There are some MPs who have spent 5 years without saying any word in Parliament, as if they are for a silent contest. I know people are disgruntled. If we were in Europe, we needed a system of recalling Parliament. But at the same time, we cannot have meaningful elections in the circumstance. People would want to hang me if I propose that. Hello, good morning. My name is Otto. I'm a member of Parliament for Otto County, Pade District. You could have known me for various reasons, but here I am sharing my thoughts with you. I'm a graduate of political science from Karen University. I am also an advocate. I have a degree in law. So I'm going to try in these 4 minutes just to ensure that I have a balance between being a social scientist and being an advocate. I'm talking about the digital elections. Within the next 2 weeks, Parliament will come with legislation and regulations to ensure that we have digital elections because of the coronavirus. By digital elections, we mean campaigning on TV, campaigning on radio, banning mass rallies to avoid the spread of the coronavirus. But I want to just pose some questions for your kind thoughts. In the last election, the voter turnout was 60.3%. Several factors could have determined why there was low voter turnout. But what is very apparent and real is that some people got caught up by time. At 4 p.m., they stopped the last person on the line. Now the Electoral Commission and the government is proposing people washing their hands at all the polling stations in Uganda. I wonder how that will be feasible, because how many people can wash their hands in the space of a day? There is a proposition for having temperature guns at the polling station and they check my temperature. What if I show up at a voting station and my temperature is 45 degrees? It's going to cause panic. There will be panic, there will be pandemonium at that particular polling station. And it can also be another technique of ensuring that voting is spoiled. Then there is the indelible ink, where you dip your hands after voting. Is the Electoral Commission proposing that for every voter there will be a separate card for people to dip their hands? Or we'll use the same ink, which can easily be a one-stop center for the coronavirus? This is unbelievable, the kind of election we will definitely be heading for. The law provides that every agent, every candidate should have 2 agents at the polling station. So if there are 10 parliamentary candidates in a polling station in Barara and there are 20 presidential candidates, that means we will have 60 candidate agents at the polling station. This is provided for in the law, because there is no way we're going to have an election where I don't have agents at the polling station. Now, if we go to the tallying center, 2 agents per candidate, we can have like 40 agents. We talk of the Electoral Commissioners themselves. We talk of the police. That means at the very minimum, you can have 50 people at the polling station. So what would have happened to the Ministry of Health guidelines that we should have 10 people at the polling station? And as the votes are being counted, curfew time. 7 p.m., the LDUs will be there, wielding batons and sticks. So it could be used as a technique, as a decoy of getting people away from the polling center. So that means this voting is going to be like a cultural gala. It's going to be like a ritual. You vote, come, wash your hands, vote, go home, and wait for the results. This is de-enfranchising Ugandans. I personally want to be told how this is going to be feasible. The declaration of the results, according to Ugandan culture, everyone must be there, because also the thieves are there, much as the good persons are there. Wait a minute. Talk about the digital campaign. That we go on TV, go on radio. According to Uganda Communications Commission, those with social media phones are only 16%. I don't want to talk about the electricity and coverage of the network. But look at this polling station in Iganga, in Mubende, where there is 1 radio station. First of all, the radio owners are going to hike the prices. Secondly, a rich candidate can pay for all the time so that their opponents don't have space on that particular radio. Thirdly, you know what UBC can do. A high court ruled that the Uganda Broadcasting Corporation was not fair to the opposition candidates. So now we are talking of digital campaigns. It has severe limitations that can turn out to be fulungunas. For example, supposing a village thief goes on radio, no one is going to know. No one is going to see the face. He's going to hold out, talk there, and leave. We have issues that requires community diagnosis. We need to see the body language. We need to see the person going to parliament, whether he can articulate issues for the individuals. We need to look at that person from head to toe. You find situations where some women have divorced their husbands. It is public knowledge in the entire village. And because of the digital campaign, the woman candidate is pregnant. And because people cannot be able to see that A has divorced B, yet she's pregnant, so by default means the woman can be standing in Amoro, and yet she's married to a man from Fort Portal, which amounts to infringement of cultural rights. And besides, there are limits of body language. If you are dating a woman on social media, there are limits. There has to be time where you see the physical body contact. You need to see the hair, you need to see the nails. So now we are denying Ugandans that opportunity to see their candidates. There's a guy who was doing phone dating. The woman is in Lubende, the guy is in Arua. By the time he met, the guy thought he was in the longest street. So he was meeting a beast. So we should not de-enfranchise Ugandans to the extent of not knowing the people who they vote for. And there is a new aspect called gerrymandering in political science. New constituencies have been created. Voters have been moved because of the new cities. So some constituents are being moved from another county into the city. So we are going to have the first instance where there are new voters from another politburo into another constituency. So these are issues where physical contact should be necessary so that we don't have strangers being collected from different parts of the country, from Rwanda, from Congo, to come and vote in this new constituency on allegations that they were from the previous constituency. So you find that we really have a lot to do. Talk about it, the Electoral Commission. If someone tests positive at the polling station, that means everyone who has lined up should be quarantined. Okay, God forbid, if one of the Electoral Commissioners turned positive to coronavirus, like Justice Biamaka, or Honorable Stephen Kashobia, or Wakojo, that means the entire Electoral Commission should be quarantined. They should be taken to a faraway health center, far away like in Karamoja there. So as the Constitution provided for restoration, where if the entire Electoral Commissioners are quarantined, who will hold elections? Who will declare the results? So these are mind-boggling issues that the entire elections may not be held in the interest of the Hoipoloi, in the interest of the masses. Now, I would want to propose, do we really have to go for this election? Don't think of what I'm thinking of. I know what you're thinking of. Members are fed up of these MPs. There are some MPs who should have even left Parliament yesterday. They should have been recalled. They are so terrible persons that should not even be called honorable. Probably they should be called horrible. There are some MPs who have spent 5 years without saying any word in Parliament, as if they are for a silent contest. I know people are disgruntled. If we were in Europe, we needed a system of recalling Parliament. But at the same time, we cannot have meaningful elections in the circumstances. People would want to hang me if I propose that...